Now we have Emily Miller. She's a reporter at a local station in Washington, D.C. She's a gun owner, and since D.C. recently approved a conceal and carry law, she figured she'd apply for a permit. Look at all the hoops she had to jump through.
I want to apply for a gun carry permit.
First of all, you have to prove that you need the concealed carry as opposed to just wanting one. You have to prove that your life's in danger, your family, or your property.
Do I have to give evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I was a victim of a home invasion, and I've gotten a threat against me. So do I just give the police records? So the chief of police personally will decide whether or not I get a carry permit?
Well, that's going to either be, you know how it usually works, it's going to be her or someone on her staff.
The Second Amendment right to bear arms just doesn't fully apply here?
Well, I believe when the Second Amendment was written, that was more or less for, when the British were coming.
It's all my fault.
They have come. They are here.
You know, Judge, one thing that we didn't get into there was that she had to go through 18 hours of training, and they haven't hired a trainer yet. So look, here's the story. They're putting all of these roadblocks in the way of exercising your constitutional right. That means she's being denied her constitutional right, doesn't it?
Yes, it absolutely does. The government cannot create a regulatory scheme that is nearly impossible to comply with because the government has an ideological animus against the successful use of that scheme. So they cannot make it nearly impossible for you to carry a gun. Interesting, Stuart, in your home state and mine, you have to go through these very same hoops and answer these very same questions. And rather than the government disprove that you're entitled to carry, you must affirmatively prove that you are entitled to carry. So I think that may change as well. But what is happening as a result of what this reporter did and the way in which the government treated her is this is all going to be played out in a federal courtroom next week in Washington, D.C. by a federal judge who is already skeptical of the government of D.C. and its willingness to comply with orders from the Supreme Court of the United States on this very issue. The leading case is Heller, a retired D.C. police officer, versus the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia lost.
Why do I have to prove that I need this constitutional right? I don't have to prove that I need my constitutional right to free speech?
Because since the progressive era in this country about 100 years ago, the presumption of liberty has been turned on its head. The presumption of liberty presumes that each of us as individuals knows how to make personal choices and how to exercise our fundamental rights. The government now says, we'll tell you when and how and under what circumstances you can exercise the fundamental rights that we don't like the right to defend yourself. It's wrong. It's unconstitutional. And I'll tell you how D.C. is going to pay. D.C. is going to end up paying, you'll like this part, the legal bills of the challengers. That's how groundless D.C.'s behavior is in this respect.
Now, there's a somewhat similar case at the VW plant in Tennessee. It's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The workers said, we don't want a union. But the management says, well, we're going to talk to the union anyway. Now, isn't that an example of where the will of the people, the will of the workers, is being thwarted by the elites, essentially, the management?
All right, well, here's what happened. I can't understand why management would want to talk to any union after they won the vote not to unionize.
Because they're a German company, and in Germany, unions rule the roost.
All right, but in America, this is an area we're now talking about which is highly regulated. So there are federal statutes that govern who they should speak to. So here's what the law is, that UAW, which wants to unionize these American workers in Tennessee and lost the unionization vote, can come back once a year, come back every 365 days and seek another vote.
Okay.
But what they're trying to do now is rather than seek a vote to unionize, they're trying to get the workers in Tennessee to form their own union, not part of the large union, and trying to get management to negotiate with that small, little, just within the four corners of the plant union. Can they do that? Yes, if they get a majority. Do they have a majority? They're pretty close.
Okay. Judge, we're going to ask all our major guests on the program today.
So why are you looking at me?
Because you're a major guest. Well, you're a regular guest, put it like that. Here's the question. Can money buy you happiness? I want your answer now.
No.
What? Are you serious?
I think happiness is independent of money. I also want to sort of frustrate you with my answer. Because I know how you would answer that question.
Money is liquid freedom.
Yes, it is freedom. Yes, it is freedom. But one can be free and happy without a great deal of money. Obviously, you need food, shelter, and clothing, and we like the nice things in life.
Doesn't more money make you happier?
Not necessarily.
So why do you chase more money?
Because of the illusion that will make it. It will make.
There you go.
Right.
It's all good stuff, isn't it?